So, you've been here for how many nights?
I've been here since Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, so the very first day.
Yes, ma'am. I flew right in from Georgia. I get up here bright and early.
Wow, you came all the way from Georgia for this.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I was basically in a situation where I could either leave the country or stay here and fight. And I figured that at this point, this is something that's going to happen all over the world before too long. And it'd be selfish of me not to try to do my part.
Absolutely. So you were literally on the verge of potentially leaving the country?
Yeah, basically, I have a bachelor's degree in biology, and since getting that degree in 2008, the only job I found was part-time minimum wage. That was as a hotel clerk, and the only reason I got it is because I put myself through college by being a hotel clerk. So it's sad that that my crappy little job that I put myself through college with is now worth more than the degree. And the reason I thought about leaving the country is because with my degree, one of the few things that I could be really assured of getting a job in would be teaching English overseas. Yeah. Interesting. Wow.
So I guess employment opportunities would be one of the reasons why you're here.
Yeah, that's one of many. And I mean, it's also just a general awareness of the situation that's going on. Food prices are getting higher, largely because it's all the commodities exchanges and everything, and I'm rambling a little bit. I'm usually better than this, but anyway.
It's been a long week. It's okay.
Yeah, we're all a little stressed out. We had a rough night tonight.
Oh, absolutely. With the potential riot, it got pretty rough.
It was rough, but in a nutshell, it's basically about the fact that the rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer, and the divide between the rich and the poor is just growing huge. There used to be a middle class, but realistically, there's no middle class anymore.
There's no middle class. Yeah. So you mentioned that there are many reasons why you're here, and unemployment is one, the rich getting richer, the poor getting poorer. Can you mention a couple other reasons that maybe you personally are concerned about, or maybe you've heard other people? Because we're really trying to get the word out to our friends and families out there that don't understand why we're out here. They think that we're just out here for a hippie party. Trust me, it smells like shit. This isn't a fucking party.
Yeah, I smell like shit. It's not a party. One story I have that's it's pretty depressing and it's pretty miserable, so it should be a good example of how this is not fun. Back when I was putting myself through college in 2003 at that shitty little hotel I worked at, a man checked in at night. I wasn't there at the time. His name was Raymond Lemmy. I'm not sure on the pronunciation of that last name, but my manager called me in the next morning. He had committed suicide apparently, and there was blood all over the hotel room, and the maids wouldn't help her clean it up. They were a little too superstitious and nervous. So I was a biology student. She knew I had a strong, tough stomach. She called me in. And the thing didn't seem right. I mean, it did not look like a suicide. It looked like a crime scene. I mean, the tub had no water in it when he apparently committed suicide. So there was an imprint of his body in there perfectly. There was an imprint of the razor on the edge of the tub that apparently, it had been set down perfectly clean, and then blood had been splashed over it. A couple of years later, I got to see some crime scene photos from there, and he had strangulation marks around his neck. Which I mean, I'm a biologist and the son of two nurses. I'm not perfect in the area, but I know that doesn't happen when you cut your wrists. So it was pretty obvious to me that he was actually killed. And this is important because he happened to be an investigator investigating the rigging of the Florida voter elections.
Wow.
And the Valdosta Police Department the police department in the town I lived in, they just wrote it off as a suicide and closed the book just like nothing.
Wow! Oh my gosh!
Yeah, and at that point, as I pieced together the story and realized what happened, I just decided I already had the blood of a martyr on my hands, and
oh my god!
And I couldn't live with that. I mean, without doing something.
Wow.
To help the situation.
Was that for the 2004 election?
He was killed in around 2003. I believe it was the 2002 senatorial elections that he was investigating, if I recall correctly.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. So corruption within the electoral process.
Yeah. The not only the buying of the process through controlling government channels, through controlling pretty much all the media, and through just plain old cash donations, but also actually buying the machines off. In Georgia, just before that, in a previous election, it was the first year that Georgia had switched to a standardized voting system, and we had these these depot machines. all from one company. And in that election, we had 2 elections where the exit polls were dramatically different from the actual results. This has pretty much never occurred. And both of those swung in the way of far more right-wing candidates.
Right.
Which is really funny because Diebold had been on record before from some leaked emails as promising to deliver the election to Republicans in Ohio. And yet, there's still almost no oversight for these machines.
Nope, there's none.
Yeah, exactly. Vegas has far more oversights on their slot machines than we have on these machines, which determine who our next president or who our next congressman are going to be. It is absolutely ridiculous, and it's to the point where any reasonable person who looks into the information just cannot see this as acceptable or in any way democratic.
Exactly. So safe to say, we do not live in a democracy.
Yep.
It is bought and paid for by special interest groups.
Exactly. And everybody out here knows that and are fighting for it. And we all know that a situation can happen where we get pulled off the street, we get arrested, and most of us realize we could just disappear. I mean, this could be my last will and testament at this point. Well, in which case, fight on, everybody.
All right, well, stay strong, brother, okay?
I will do that. And for everybody out there, stay strong, and thank you for all your support.